set up an HTML page, linked it to a JavaScript file that's called app16.js. We have one element on the page, and that's the element, this div with a class of output, and then the content within it is hello world. I'm also using as the editor, I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code, and Visual Studio Code does come with an add-on which is called Live Server, and that gives me the ability to run the HTML file within the HTTP protocol, showing it locally on my system without having to have an install of a server. So you can also add that under Preferences and selecting the extensions, and then within the extensions search for Live Server. And this is the one here that I'm using, and it's called Live Server. It's by Rickwick Day, and there's quite a lot of downloads. It's got really good ratings, and in order to do the install, you just select to install, and that will enable it within your editor. And then once you've got a workspace set up, you can open up the file within the Live Server. So that can be done by clicking anywhere on the HTML file, and you will also need to have an index file in order to open up the local file system, and then just click the open with Live Server, and then there's also an option to stop the Live Server. So now anything that I type within the HTML file, and if I make any updates and save it, it will automatically update to the web page. I'm also using the Chrome browser with developer tools, and we are going to be making use of the developer tools, specifically with the console tab, and that's where we can write the JavaScript code. So just to make sure that everything is ready to go within the console, I'm going to output the word ready, and then you should see that being output within the console. So once you've set up your developer environment, you are also going to need to have a Google account in order to access the Google API console and request an API key, and then register your application so that you can get a key and to interact with the YouTube API. And that's what we're going to be covering in this and the upcoming lessons. So once you've created your Google account, go ahead and log into your Google account. And then I'll walk you through how to create a project within the Google Developers Console and obtain the authorization credentials for your application. And we'll be making a fetch request to the API and returning back some content.